Tuesday's edition of Breakfast News Live on GTV, where the news updates stream live on Facebook at GTV Ghana, and across all our social media platforms at GTV Ghana, and across all our social media platforms at GTV Ghana. I am Valencia Tete, now the news in detail. The National Peace Council has convened an emergency meeting. The National Peace Council has convened an emergency meeting of Parliament executives, including the leadership of Parliament executives and other relevant agencies and NDC and other relevant agencies. Parliament session is expected to happen. The meeting aims to prevent this disruption. The meeting aims to prevent this disruption following the court's decision to halt Speaker Bagwin's ruling. Tensions have been mounting with the minority in Parliament. Tensions have been mounting with the minority in Parliament, signaling in the chamber until Speaker issues a new ruling in the chamber until Speaker issues a new ruling. For what is expected private legal practitioner, Dr. Yao Anoche of a private legal practitioner, Dr. Yao Anoche.
There is nobody or entity in the country. There is nobody or entity in the country that must decide to abide to be ready or prepared to abide by the decision of the majority or minority in Parliament. Majority or minority in Parliament to persuade. What is important people to be able to persuade sensible people to Parliament. And I'm saying that whatever is sitting on board. And I'm saying that they have got sitting on board members of Parliament who have decided to members of Parliament. So who have decided to vote against their parties. So they should try to break their laws. Rather than that they are attempting to break their law by saying that they would not respect country. Then whose decision would not respect country in the country? Then whose the apex would respect in the country? Speaking, and apex we are not ready to respect speaking. And then after the election, if you have respect then after the election, when we have any pound against the youth, we have to see you go. Please, I think and then we have see Parliament as this level, and then abiding Parliament as this level, and then work on these three people so that they bring them to themselves. And that will be the people so that they bring them to themselves. And that will be the end of.
Meanwhile, GBC News have been speaking to some Ghanaians on the streets of Accra. GBC News have been speaking to some Ghanaians on the streets of Accra on happenings and some have been expressing the Supreme Court's decision on happenings in today's Parliament and the Supreme Court's decision.
And watch Ghana. The Speaker of Parliament, when I do this thing, it will affect. And watch Ghana. When I do this thing, that when I do this thing, it will affect the people. When I do this thing, so it's confusion can erupt, and you know so many things. I believe the Speaker just to so it should be fair. I believe the Speaker should just do. It should be fair. He shouldn't watch his feeling or his party affiliation.
I think for once, make sure that the Speaker of Parliament are standing ground the procedures and make sure that the orders of Parliament or the procedures. I mean, their conventions that they've been using should be something that they should be able to guard. I mean, their conventions in future should be something that they should be able to guard. The courts are going to. We don't know how the courts are going to.
All I can say is. If the Speaker is going according to what the Constitution is saying, if the Speaker is going according to what the Constitution is saying, then it's right. According to what I heard, that is what the Constitution according to what I heard, and that is what the Constitution is saying. He shouldn't. And what the Supreme Court is saying, the Supreme Court is also going against that. Meaning, the Supreme Court is also going against the Constitution. Something I have to say. That is, I think, a little.
Actually, I have to say about that. They have to understand themselves. So actually, I have no idea about that. It's not because to understand themselves so that the country will move forward. It's not because of because the majority will move the country forward. Because they have been done a lot of minority and majority for a long time. The country is not understand themselves. So they have to be better for the patient and understand themselves so that things will be better for the
majority leader, Mr. Afenyo Markin, has the majority leader, Mr. potential showdown in Parliament when the House potential showdown in Parliament when the House indicated that if tension escalates, the majority indicated that if tension escalates, the majority side prepared up of members of the New Patriotic Party rather than engage in any confrontation. Walk out. This rather than engage in any confrontation. Congress held this response comes after the National Democratic Congress held a press conference on Sunday. The majority side in Parliament they would take control of the majority side in declaring following Speaker Alban Bag's recent ruling, according to declaring for your marking a seat vacant. Supreme Court, according to Mr. Fayon Marking, a bailiff with court Supreme Court on Monday has served Parliament with court orders on Monday. The Public Service Workers Union began an indefinite strike. Public Service Workers Union began an indefinite strike to address disparities in allowance of its members. To address these organizations' allowance of its members, some of these organizations, such as the Ghana Meteorological Agency, National Labour Commission, such as the Ghana Meteorological Agency, laid down National Labour Commission in the Election Commission hearing, laid down their tools to demand an urgent hearing of their concerns.
The Public Services Workers Union say it has been pushing for the implementation of workers' allowances that reflects the unique challenges faced by its members within specific concerns about the delayed implementation of recommendations made by a 9-member commission of recommendations made by a 9-member committee to review the single-spine pay policy. These recommendations aimed at addressing the compensation challenges within the public sector have yet to be challenges within the public sector have yet to be acted upon on an indefinite strike, the union's decision today, Monday, October 21, 2024. During a visit to some public work premises in Accra, it was observed that many workers were present at their post. Some workers mentioned they were unaware of the strike and only learned about it upon arrival. Others stated they had a backlog of work to clear before the year ends, so they planned to work for a while but would close early in solidarity with the union. GBC News visited the Fisheries Commission, the National Commission on Culture, and the Center for National Culture, all located in Accra, but workers were unwilling to speak to the news team.
The Deputy Secretary General of the Public Service Workers Union, Mr. John Sampa, says the union is satisfied with the level of compliance from members across the country. Mr. Sampa emphasized that the union remains resolute in their demands and will not back down until governments and the Fair Wages and Salary Commission address their concerns. The strike, he added, is a critical step towards ensuring that workers receive fair compensation reflective in their working conditions.
Today is the first day of the strike. If you go to almost all our institutions, it will just be some few people that have been allowed to perhaps receive visitors and to let the visitors know that we are on strike. If you go to the district and metropolitan assemblies, our workers are not, they are on strike. And we believe that from tomorrow going, you can verify for yourself that the totality of our members have complied with the directive. And that is what it is. Because we are asking allowance for them. And they know that the government has given other people allowances, but for them, they have not given them. So, this is survivor. We are fighting for our survivor. And the economy is quite hard. And why there is unfairness and some people have been treated better and you have not been treated better, the people have complied, making sure that without addressing their concerns, they are not going back to work. The strike we have embarked on is justified, rational, it's reasonable. We have given enough notice and we have given a lot of opportunity for government and the Fair Wages to address our concerns, and they have failed to do so. Now, all of us are in support of it. Even the Ghana Trade Union Movement, we have a discussion with the Secretary General, and within the week, we will also receive a support, a boost from the Trade Union Congress to support our strike action. And therefore, we want them to know that we will not relent until our concerns are addressed.
The High Court in Accra has dismissed the suit filed by disqualified presidential candidate for the PNC, Mr. Bernard Mona, against the Electoral Commission. The court, presided over by Justice Richard Apetu, said the EC did not breach the rule of natural justice as argued by Mr. Mona and described the EC's action as lawful. Justice Richard Apetu held that the Commission gave the PNC flag bearer an opportunity to correct the errors on his nomination forms, contrary to his claims that he was not given a hearing before his disqualification.
Justice Richard Apetu held that the applicant was given the opportunity to correct the errors identified which he failed or neglected to do by returning the forms without resolving the issues raised by the Electoral Commission means that Mr. Bernard Mona waived his right to correct the errors identified. The court further held that Mr. Mona failed to fully utilize the opportunity given him by the EC by a letter dated September 13, 2024 to correct anomalies on his forms and turn around to blame the EC. Justice Apetu said the PNC and Mr. Mona did not act meticulously and were not also vigilant in the filing of the nomination forms. He said the PNC as a party has participated in previous presidential elections and should have used the experience amassed to help the flag bearer and not blame the Commission after failing to do their bidding. The court also affirmed the EC's claim that Mr. Mona's nomination form contained the same signatures for different supporters. This, the court held, is a strong ground for the disqualification. PNC's flag bearer, Mr. Bernard Mona, sued the Electoral Commission for disqualifying him from the 2024 presidential election. In an application filed at the Accra High Court on Tuesday, September 2024, Mr. Mona wanted, among other reliefs, an order restraining the EC from carrying out any activity relating to the presidential election until he is declared as duly nominated candidate and allowed to contest the election.
Look-alike signatures cannot be several omissions. So these are specificity with which the Electoral Commission then came to court. So clearly you can see that the judge did not look at the issue that was brought to us, to it. It just went round. And I have already instructed my lawyers that this case is not ending here.
Mr. Mona also asked for an order of certiorari questioning the EC's decision to disqualifying him from contesting as a presidential candidate in the 2024 presidential election and an order of mandamus compelling the chairperson of the EC, Mrs. Jean Mensah, to declare him as duly nominated to contest the election. He is further seeking a declaration from the court that the EC as an administrative body acted arbitrarily, unfairly and capriciously in this.
Now, prosecution handling the case of the Raleigh student who allegedly stabbed his colleague to death says they are yet to receive an advice on the case from the Office of the Attorney General. This was revealed in court on Monday, October 21, by the prosecution led by Chief Inspector Paul Osei-Ajay when the case was called at the La District Court. The accused, Godwin Maoli Kwete, a final year student at Raleigh Senior High School, was further remanded into the police custody for 2 weeks. He's alleged to have stabbed his colleague Edward Bokete Saki to death over an argument of whose father is worthier. Meanwhile, the father of the deceased says he will ensure that the case travel in its full force. He alleged that the autopsy reports revealed that his son was allegedly stabbed 3 times with a jackknife. Contrary to reports, his late son was stabbed with a pair of scissors. In a significant development, the deceased Edward Bokete Saki was laid to rest on Saturday, October 18. The case has been adjourned to November 4, 2024. Now, on the foreign front, Mozambique's capital saw heightened tension as police expressed an opposition protest using tear gas to disperse demonstrators outside opposition leader Vicino Mondale's campaign headquarters. The protest, sparked by allegation of electoral fraud in the recent general election, occurred just days after the assassination of 2 Mondale's associates, escalating fears of further unrest as the country awaits the official election results.
In Maputo on Monday, a protest led by Mozambique's opposition turned chaotic as police used tear gas to disperse demonstrators gathered outside opposition leader Venancio Mondale's campaign headquarters. Mondale, who had called for a general strike alleging electoral fraud in the recent general elections, was forced to flee as law enforcement intervened. The protest, banned by authorities, occurred just 2 days after the assassination of 2 of Mondale's close associates, Alvino Diaz's lawyer, and Paulo Guamba, a Podemos party member, raising fears of escalating political violence. Mondale accused the country's defense and security forces of the killings, claiming they were linked to his challenge against the election results, which preliminarily declared ruling party candidate Daniel Chapo the winner. With the final results due October 24, tensions are mounting and allegations of electoral fraud have intensified the standoff. International observers, including the European Union, expressed concern over the violent dispersal of the protests, while calls for a peaceful resolution echo amid fears of further unrest.
And let's have the weather report for today. Felicity is on the line to give us more updates for today's weather. Good morning, Felicity. How is our weather looking like for today?
Good morning, Valencia. I hope you are doing very well.
I'm doing very well.
Today the weather is on strike. Unfortunately, we'll not be able to give the weather update. We are part of the Public Workers Union, and the strike is ongoing, and we're not able to come up with the forecast for today.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll speak to you later. Let's have the winning Alpha Lotto for Monday. The Alpha Lotto winning numbers for Alpha Monday: 78, 15, 66, 80, and single 1. The Alpha Lotto winning numbers for Alpha Monday again: 78, 78, 15, 15, 66, 66, 80, 80, and single 1. We're going for a quick break. The breakfast continues.
Parliament, which began in 2017. I bring you documentaries highlighting the transformative achievement in the educational sector, spearheaded by the Minister for Education, Honorable Dr. Yao Osei-Edochim. Watch the Transformation Agenda series on GTV on Wednesdays at 9 o'clock p.m. and on Saturdays at 8 o'clock p.m. Transformation Agenda series on education, reimagining education for national development.
Do you know someone making a remarkable impact in their community? Someone whose dedication and excellence inspire others. It's time to recognize their efforts. Introducing the most prestigious Royal 2025 Millennium Excellence Awards, celebrating outstanding achievements across various fields. And now, you can nominate those extra.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the show. Today is the 22nd of October, and it's been billed as a possible showdown between the NDC and the NPP in Parliament. Well, Parliament is shut down, at least to the public, so the public got what do you expect? When the weather is on strike, why would your mouth be on strike? The gallery is shut to the public. Yeah, but we're going to find out exactly what's going on with this whole business of the 4 MPs who the Speaker ruled on as not being part of the configuration, changing the makeup of Parliament, but the Supreme Court has served Parliament with a stay of that decision. And so let's see how things play out in Parliament today. To be a big conversation on our headlines, conversations. And around the world, there's a global rollout of the Ghana card happening today in Copenhagen, Denmark, in Northern Europe. And we went out on the streets of Osu, Oxford Street to be precise, to ask people one question. What do you use your Ghana card for? Watch out for that on Public Interest at 7 a.m. And I'll come back later on the show to look at the role of the National Commission for Civic Education in ensuring an incident-free election. That's what's up my sleeves this morning. I'm not alone. She's here. Good morning, Matiti.
Good morning, Kath. And 46 days to Election Day. And today on Manifesto Watch, the Ghana Union Movement is coming back. They've been on the show before to talk about their policies heading into the election. And they'll be coming back again, this time to talk about education, how important it is to nation building. And so we'll have a member of the Manifesto Committee here a bit later. I'll also be looking at breast cancer. Well, yes, that's the member of the Ghana Union Movement who will be coming on the show a bit later. Conversations on breast cancer and increased breast cancer cases among students in senior high school as a conversation we'll be having. Then Dr. Prince Osei from Medimosis also will start even the breast cancer conversation this morning. We are still in Pink October, and so we're entreating that you go out there and get checked. So these are conversations we'll be having. The wee bit and last part of the show will see us sit with an author of the history of the Dagbamba people. You don't want to miss that culture bit of the show as well. Kath?
Okay, yeah. So it's 055-556-1034. That is our WhatsApp number. It's 46 days to the election on the 7th of December. It's a Saturday. 76 days to the exit of President Akufo-Addo and his vice president in their second term of their administration. It's 6:27, and we are here to serve you breakfast nice and piping hot. We've got a conversation on facts about breast cancer coming up in a short while. Don't go anywhere. And EL is making me hungry. I know his cocoa has nothing to do with what you put in your throat, but yeah, he's talking about the blessings. Everything is easy for him. It's cocoa for him. Those of you who don't understand our Ghanaian lingo, that's what it means. Good morning. Welcome to the show. A lot coming up today. Conversations on breast cancer, NCPE. There's a book launch, headlines, manifesto watch. But for now, we want to give you the proverb of the day. Remember back in the day when COVID came out and people thought that if you hear a cough, you're going to die, so people were not coughing, people were not sneezing. If somebody sneezes, hey, what's going on here, and our proverb is just spot on for those times, but reminding you that it goes beyond that, because a Zulu proverb says a man with a cough cannot conceal himself. It's the women as well, so things will definitely get expressed, and you cannot hide a problem for a long time, and directly connected with health is that it is important to address your health issues openly so you can get help. So that's what it is. Shout out to our friends. A proverb for the day: a man with a cough cannot conceal himself, and neither can a lady who has a doctor on the set to talk about very important things. They cannot conceal themselves, because we're going to reveal them right now. We're going straight to the health desk for our BFS clinic with Mal Titi and Dr. Prince Osei. They're looking at facts about breast cancer. Good morning. Welcome.
Stop Galamsey now is the hashtag, and we keep re-echoing it throughout GTV, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, and all our channels, because it's a good clarion call. It's about 8 days to wrap up Pink October, and if you're somebody who procrastinates throughout the year and it's difficult for you to go and then, check your breasts, well, go and check your breast within the last 8 days of Pink October. Go and check your breasts and be sure that you don't have any problem. Remember, early detection, they say, saves lives. So this is just one for you to remember. You need to have a healthy body and a healthy mind so that you can be industrious. I am Maltiti Saida Sadiq, and it's time for our health conversation with Medimosis. They are proud sponsor of GTV Breakfast Show. Dr. Prince Osei is in the studio this morning, as usual. Doc, good morning. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning, Maltiti.
It's time for the clinic session.
Yes.
Today, we are looking at statistics, facts about breast cancer. But we want to start with the statistics. In Ghana, what are the statistics looking like? And then, annually, then we can look at the global front as well.
All right. So annually in Ghana, let's start from 2022. We had about 5,026 cases of breast cancer that was recorded. And about 2,369 of them passed on. Yes, so that is about more than 50% of the cases, yes. And it's also estimated that for every 22 women in Ghana, about one of them will be diagnosed of breast cancer. Yes, so the numbers keep increasing. And these figures are somewhere in 2002. So
every 22
women, yes, one will be diagnosed of breast cancer. Yes, and the incident rate is increasing. In 2008, it was about 23.8% in 100,000 men. But in 2018, it rise up to 37.8. Yes, women in 100,000. Yes, so every year you keep seeing the numbers increasing. But it's not that the death rate is also increasing. You know, when we are advocating about certain conditions, we keep having numbers rising up. When we are talking about it, we get a lot of people walking into the facility to check. And the numbers, the death rate is actually decreasing. For 2022, we had more than 50%. But in 2023, there were about 4,500 cases that were diagnosed and 2,000 deaths was recorded. That is not up to 50. Though the value is around 50%, yeah. But then you see that as we are advocating and as we are talking about it, people are getting aware of the condition, and so they are checking.
Hitherto, a lot would have died without coming to the facility, and you won't have the statistics or data. Okay.
Even now, well, we have people who don't really come to the hospital. In Ghana and in Africa, you know, because of our spirituality and all this, when people are diagnosed, they delay in seeking treatment. Some people know that they have the breast cancer, but then they delay in coming to the hospital for treatment because of spirituality. Some of them would go to the prayer camps and all that, yeah. And mostly they will come back to the hospital when it has actually increased. You know, we have stages. We have from the stage 0 to stage 4. So mostly from stage 0 to stage 2, it can be contained. It can be managed effectively. But from stage 3, it means that it has started spreading to the nearby organs. And we know for the breast, because of its location, the nearby organs has to do with the lungs, the heart, the liver, and all that. And these are vital organs. These are organs that we need to survive. So when the cancer starts spreading to these organs, it makes it difficult for intervention to be made because it's associated with its own thing. When it affects the lungs, you can have difficulty in breathing and all that. The heart, we don't even want to go there. The liver too, it could lead to certain issues with the liver that could be very devastating. Yeah.
And with the increase, I was going to ask, is it that we've changed our dieting? Is it what we eat? Is it still the hereditary? Who and who are likely to get it?
Every woman is likely to get breast cancer. Once you are a woman, you are at risk of getting breast cancer. But age is one of the major factors. Last week we learned some myth. We used to think that it's just women who are more than 50 years that could get breast cancer, but we have as low as 30 years getting breast cancer and all that. Yeah, and even now younger, younger people also getting breast cancer. But as we mentioned, it's not every lump that is a cancer. There are some lumps that may not be cancer. Some people may think they have the cancer, but it's not.
What could it be? What could that
It could be a lymphadenopathy. There are so many lymph nodes within the breast area. It could be a lymphadenopathy, and mostly those lymphadenopathy comes with pain. So if you're having a lump or some growth within the breast which is painful, it might not be a breast cancer. It's not likely to be a breast cancer. Breast cancer mostly it doesn't cause any pain in the early stages.
Can it lead to breast cancer?
Mostly it doesn't. Okay. It can be treated completely. So if it's a lymphadenopathy, it's mostly caused by infections and all these things. And the lymph nodes, when they are stuck together, when they can't freely move, they can cause this lump within the breast. And when you give medications, it can disappear on its own. Sometimes you may need surgery to remove some of these lymph nodes and all those things from the breast, but it's not cancerous. Yeah. So depending on the type of lump that you have in your system, sometimes it's taken and histopathology is done to determine whether there are changes within the cells and all those things. Cancer is just the changes within the cell. You know, the tissues or the organs are made up of cells. So if the DNA of the cell changes, we know that the DNA of the breast cells is to produce breast milk and all those things. And for red blood cells, we know that it takes 120 days to die, but other cells too have a couple number of days that they take before they die. But when the DNA changes, it means that the old cell, even when it gets to the time for them to die, for new ones to be replaced, it doesn't die off, and the new ones are added up. That is what leads to the lump. And the new ones that are adding on, their nature changes, their shape changes, so they don't actually perform the same function as the healthy cells that we know. So that is what comes about with all these cancer and all that. But there could be some benign changes that goes on that are not actually a malignancy. Yeah.
It's scary, and it looks like it's being said that the causes of cancer is not known. People exercise, they are vegetarians, they live healthy lives, some don't drink, some don't smoke, but still they get diagnosed with breast cancer. If you're diagnosed with breast cancer, does that mean that the rest of your generation that will come after you are at risk as well?
No, it's not entirely so. But it increases the risk of someone having it. So if you are diagnosed with breast cancer, it means that your generation is at risk, but it's not entirely so.
Before you go on, I wanted you to talk about the image that we are just seeing. So like the nipple has gone
it's inverted, so it's one of the signs of breast cancer. Naturally, we have the nipples pointing out as the image on our right. It points out like the image on the right, but when there is a cancer, as the cells are forming together, they pull the nipple inward. So if naturally, there are people who naturally has an inverted nipple, their nipple are just like that on the left. But if yours was like on the right and now you've seen that it's being pulled in like the one on the left, then it should tell you that there's something going on within the breast. This is one classical sign that someone is having a breast cancer. So if you see that your nipple is gradually going in, then you should know that something is pulling it inside, and that thing could likely be a cancer. So it's one of the major signs that
so early on you were talking about hereditary factors, but what else can we see that looks like is a symptom of cancer? Aside from the lump, can you see a swell of one breast all of a sudden?
So for the changes in the breast is one of the things, we advise that women should do a breast self-examination every month.
Walk us through that.
Yes, so for the breast self-examination, you first stand in a mirror with your top, like you take off your top.
Your bra.
Yes, and you expose your body. And you look at your breast. You look at both breasts. We have the right and the left one. Naturally, one might be bigger than the other, but it's not so much. The difference is not so much. But if you see that the differences are being very loud, the difference is being so evident, then you should know that something is going on. Sometimes an infection could even cause the breast size to increase. So what we say is, when you are having a breast self-examination and you see anything, do not panic. Some people, after seeing it, they will panic and don't even want to come to the hospital for a checkup to be done. So when you look into the mirror, you are looking at the size of the breast. After that, you are looking at the nipples. So as we mentioned, the nipples should be it should be pointing out. So always, if you look at it in the mirror every month and it's pointing out, that is the normal. But if you see that it's going in, then you should know that there are changes happening within the breast. And you look at the skin over the breast. So the skin, the skin of the breast mostly is smooth. It's very smooth. So when you see that the skin is being like there is some form of dimples within the skin, so when you see those dimples within the skin, as if you know how orange looks like, you see that orange is not so smooth. So if you see that, then it should tell you that there is a problem with the breast. If you see those,
it's a bit rough,
it's a bit rough, then it should tell you that there is something going on. Then after looking at it, you raise your arm so to expose the armpit areas, because sometimes the lump can start from the armpit areas. The breast extends to those areas. Mostly we are focused on the breast itself, but then those places too are important. So you are looking at all that. Then you begin to touch. That is when you have to examine the breast itself. And as the third image shows, you use your right hands to check for the left breast. So you, as the image there, you lift your left hands on your shoulder, your head, then use your right, the pad of your fingers to examine. And when you're examining, you go round. So you start from the outer area. You start from the outer, from your armpit area. You massage it throughout, and it should be in a spiral motion, just like how the mosquito coil looks like. So from the outer, then you'll be coming inside, so you cover the whole breast. Yeah. Then when you reach the tip of the breast, that's the nipple, you press it to see if there will be any discharge coming out. And any breast discharge that you see, it may have its own pathological or physiological implication. So some of them are physiological, they are not a medical condition. Some too are pathological. So if you are having any discharge within the breast, you need to go to the hospital to check. Mostly if it's clear and it's like milky, it might be normal. Yes, and also when it happens to both breasts, if you are seeing the discharge in both breasts, then it might be normal. But then if it's just unilateral, if it's just one of the breasts that is showing those changes, showing those discharge and all that, it could be that there is a problem with that particular breast that needs to be looked at. Yes, so you are looking for all this. But when you see a bloody discharge, a bloody discharge could be an infection. It could also be a cancer.
So there are other infections. Are they common infections of the breast?
Yes, generally it's called mastitis. That's infection of the breast. So it could be a bacterial infection, it could be a fungal infection of the breast. So depending, some people could get some sore or something around the breast, and it could be a passage for infections to enter the breast. And sometimes to nursing mothers, when you are breastfeeding, some of the babies could bite on the nipple. Yes,
the teething babies.
Yes, they can bite on it, and it could cause some inflammation within the breast. Those could be treated with antibiotics.
I did want to ask if nursing mothers or breastfeeding mothers are more prone to cancer than normal, like women who haven't had children or women who are not breastfeeding.
It's the other way around.
Wow.
Yes, so if you've never had a child or you delay in having a child, your risk of breast cancer also increases.
Hey.
Yes. So
the young girls in the studio are looking at me. Wow.
Yes. So breastfeeding is one of the things that reduces your risk of breast cancer. For all glands within the body, gland is something that produces fluid. So for every gland in the body, it needs to express whatever fluid that it is producing. So the breast is a gland. It's called a mammary gland, and you need to express the milk out. So if you've never breastfed, or if you've never given birth, or if someone hasn't fed on your breast, then it could expose you to having breast cancer. And that said, men sucking the breast is not a form of breastfeeding.
Because
it's not the same.
If you're not a breastfeeding mother, there's no milk coming out if the men are sucking the breast. So the connotation always, because that is an issue that's always been bantered over. It's totally different.
So we need the breast milk to actually come out. We need the breast milk to actually come out to reduce your risks. The men could help in noticing any changes within the breast, like the lump in it, the skin over the breast, and all those things. If there are changes within the breast, the men will be able to detect early and will prompt you, the lady, to go for a checkup. So that is where the men come in, not really sucking it to you.
This particular matter. And also, you were talking about lumps in the armpits. And sometimes people shave and then they say they have bumps. How different is those bumps from a scary lump that seems to be breast cancer?
That's way different. It's also, some people also use antiperspirant.
Right, that is where I hear that it's not good.
So those antiperspirants and all, shaving and all those things, what it can do is to cause a lymph adenopathy. So as I mentioned earlier, there are so many lymph nodes within the breast. Because it's a gland, it needs fluid and all those things. The lymph node is what is like the circulatory system that passes, it moves lymph fluid within the body.
And it extends to the armpit?
Yes, we have so much of them around the armpit area and the breast area and all that. Yes, so if you have an antiperspirant roll-on or a shaving issue and you got some bumps there, it's mostly the lymph nodes that have extended, or the lymph node that has become inflamed. So mostly those are infections. Those mostly are infections, and antibiotics are able to treat them completely. So that wouldn't necessarily lead you to having a breast cancer. It wouldn't lead you to having a breast cancer. It could only cause some disturbances and all that, painful lumps and all those things, but it's completely treated with antibiotics.
Armpit lumps and wells are the most painful ones.
Yes. So it wouldn't really increase your risk of getting breast cancer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, Dr. Say, is there something we should look out for if we are being diagnosed with breast cancer, and we keep telling people that it's not the end of the world? There's treatments, there's help. Yesterday we looked at physiotherapy and then getting back on your feet after breast cancer.
So yes, it's not the end of your life. With cancer treatment, it can be treated completely and you can go back into a normal life. We have so many survivors of breast cancer, and now they come out to share their stories and all that. It should encourage anyone that breast cancer is completely, we can completely treat it when we notice it early. It's about the intervention. If we don't get the intervention early, it makes it difficult for health workers and even you, the patient. And also note that the treatment for breast cancer differs, and we have types of breast cancer. So one person's treatment might be different from yours. So some people get scared of the treatment modalities and all those things, and they decide not to even go to the hospital. But yours might be something that might not even need surgery. It might be something that just chemotherapy or radiotherapy could deal with. So you don't have to be scared about being checked and all those things. When we are talking about Pink October, we advocate that people check, but still we have women who feel like, if I don't know, then I'm fine. But when it comes to health, ignorance is not bliss.
That's true.
Yes, that's true. You need to know what your status is. You need to know what you are taking in and all that, so that you know how to prevent yourself. And as you know, Medmosis is still giving the 50% off every mammogram that is done. So 50% off for mammograms in the month of October. We have some few days to go, so women should take advantage of it to come and have their breasts checked at Medimosis Clinic.
About 8 days to go, so go to Medimosis, all your branches.
No, the Adenta branch.
Adenta branch.
This one is at the
So
Adenta.
this one, their traffic troop to Adenta branch and get your 50% mammogram. Get your breast checked so that you'll be safe. Medimosis will start with you and they'll end the journey with you. They will help you get back on your feet. You can trust them. So go to Medimosis, contact them. They're on social media, or send us a DM and we'll link you to Medimosis so that you can go, and Dr. Prince Osei and the team will welcome you warmly and then take you through your journey. Hopefully you don't have breast cancer, you're just going for a regular checkup. But if it happens, it's not the end of the world. You can be a survivor and an ambassador for breast cancer since it's detected early and is treated early. There's lots more on the show coming up, and we'll be having our PI, our public interest, in a bit. What do you use your Ghana card for is the question we are asking. I'm interested in that one because I want to know if people are using it to go, to Europe and around the sub-Saharan African area. A bit later too, increasing cases of breast cancer still in second cycle schools. We'll look at that. Manifesto Watch as well with Ghana Union Movement GUM on their education policy, and elections, and NCCE will be sitting with us for that one. I am Altitude Side Asadik. There's more on GTV Breakfast. Don't go anywhere.
Stop Galamsey Now is the hashtag. It's 7 o'clock, and it's now time for public interest. Do you live in Ghana? Do you have a Ghana card? Hi, welcome to Public Interest. On Tuesday, 22nd October 2024, it will be the global launch of the Ghana card in Denmark. The question I'm asking is, what do you use with your Ghana card? What does it do for you? I'm here on the Oxford Street in Osu, Ghana, to find out from people exactly what they do with their Ghana card, even whether they even have a Ghana card in the first place. So, if you're curious, come with me.
The Ghana card, since the time they started doing it, that is very important for everybody to have it. So, if you're a Ghanaian, you have to have a Ghana card. So, possibly, I have mine. I had it, but I've never used it to do anything like to use it to withdraw money or something like this. I've never used it to do anything. Yeah.
We use a Ghana card, Kefian Wijin can be. Obia the Mofimus Modena Kushin, Ko Aquabia or Atobia Newa, or na Ibatobu, living Muke card bank, 1,000 million, Dani Abafi card ambo, can be living in Mukemi.
What I know about the Ghana card is it's a form of identification card for a Ghanaian citizen or a citizen of a West African country. So that's what I can say about the Ghana card. Yeah, I use my Ghana card for my banking transaction, and then also sometimes when we go to I last went to the NHIS office, and then they were like I should link my Ghana card to. So that's what I've used my Ghana card for so far. It's good, but like the kind of policies I'm seeing the government bringing ahead of, like it's good. The Ghana card is also going to help we the citizens like to know your score credit or something like that. Maybe when you want to, you take a loan and then like you didn't finish paying, that Ghana card will identify you as maybe unqualified or something like that. So
when you Ghana card, want to me. And register Usim, and at the same time, as you know, only Ghana card own to me, and yet Yamabe Ebenezer one accountant Oko Bank. I also use Ghana card. Media no, me bank account, me da bank account at the same time, you know, me start register me same at the same time, you know, Masada Midaya Yama Baby, Midaya Adiamo amount for like Obi Woni be media Namda Yamano. So Midaya Yama bear 4 or 5.
Ghana card na fi awo boy wawo sambo ye ni bi ko ma me shi ni wa fi e to wa work ti ake network work ti akeneke wo find it difficult than one in the show. Oh yeah Ghana card kemi ya bank enyo ya use o ejeme use o e bank ke obeku e sano nyon fe because ehia obanye ko ya bank ba bia lo e come ko be passport e wanyo use o Ghana card ejeme wo ehia ke sani wo fe wo na Ghana card.
Is a means of identifying yourself as a Ghanaian, and actually it opens up some certain things to you that normally basic amenities to you. Let me use that. It's hard for me as I'm not really Ghanaian. I'm Nigerian based in Ghana. I've been here for a couple of months. Getting it is hard. I started applying for the card June, August. No, it was July. July. Started applying for July, but when the process got too tedious, I backed off and then... No, I'll still go back to go get it. I actually need it. I, for one, I need it, yes. I have qualifications and I have skills that I know how to use, but without that Ghana card, I cannot get a stable job to... This is not for me.
Ghana card, Ghana card in case bank and me fancy business baby or almost we are there with the Ghana card. Or a boa, but anka we and say like me fancy omushe because se nipa bebre omuso mo kopɛ Ghana card e di ma anka yesa omushe mu na omushe because political no ukwa obegina musa na ebia ukoi ande blase ochina blase ande blase esa e hadwe aden so ya yama mi amanfo mo Ghana mi odiba menkoje.
Yeah, we were informed that we're supposed to have a nation card, which will help us to travel from other sister countries around us, But at the moment, my Ghana card, I'm using it to defend myself in a certain way, to show people that I'm a Ghanaian and also an African, that I can move from Ghana to Togo, Ghana to Benin, with my Ghana card, if possible, as they say, can do that. Aside that, I'm using it also to claim certain money from my customers. I'm a business person. Yeah, so through banking, we use also that to claim our money and all that. And I would say it's good for every Ghanaian to have one, because that shows who you are and where you're from. And it gives you the courage to also go to wherever you want to go when you have a Ghana card.
Sometimes we chip it out. I know any idea boy. Can you know so I'm say we are be high as because Kobina Kasefa. The Ghana card now Nibia and worry because when we get access to we make my accuracy we have resolve first car in deposit can be our bank and one of some information and I say be out to Kwan and I say be outside a different African country and one ever
like right now if you want to register your SIM, maybe you need your Ghana card to register your SIM. Maybe in case of all those, how do you call it, all those robbers and all those trafficking internet. So you have to register your Ghana card so that you can do access also to the mobile money. And also before you open an account, like right now at the bank, before I open an account for my children and myself, I use the Ghana card. So I can see that in Ghana card is everything. But so now even if you have a passport, they will not allow you unless you have to use the Ghana card. If you don't have the Ghana card, right now in Ghana, you cannot do anything. You cannot open a bank or you cannot do a saving anything. It's only the Ghana card. Actually, I use my Ghana card sometimes, like if I need to open an account or a bank account, like I want to leave and do another susu, they will ask you for the Ghana card. And it's normal. And if I want to help someone to register SIM, I have to use my Ghana card to help the person, that the person can get access to mobile money or all those things.
Ghana card, a boame, HLSM, me a Ghana ni. Me copy Juman Susua, me de chile, a momo who send me a Ghana ni. Enti, me koye, a bibiama me manu school Susua, a Ghana card, nana me de chile, a momo who say me a Ghana ni. Enti a boame baby, one year Ghana card bomb baby. A 1 year baby.
So I have one and I know it's for biometric purposes and some digital purposes. Yeah, so that's what I use my Ghana card for.
Ghana card, I mean, sir, maybe I to coin. Who could tickets and I'll be beside Ghana card no there. Who could pay Juma? And also, sir, and now who could CV? I could pay Juma near there. You know, beside Ghana card. Who could hospital? Ghana card. Into Ghana card, ne de BBA or Ghana say. I know I'm the register me BBA. Me ye BB or phone so cry. Me a copy bosia. Me like BBA me be I'm there. Brebi wa has not so person me pay Juma wa has say. Timi bisan so Ghana card mo so on ye Ghana card. And I'm saying you mo modern so be kwa Ghana card because enye sadia onye Ghana it's normal.
Important, like it's a very important for traveling, for a lot of things. You know, it's very good. Oh, I use it for traveling and to prove myself. When I get to some place, I can prove myself with a Ghana card.
So what do you use your Ghana card for? Let us know. 055-556-1034, And so shout outs to Fred and Christy and Dina, who are part of the show, and the others who made all those interviews happen are here with me, Valencia, Tete, and Na Dede Ai. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so what surprised you about that interaction we had in Osu, Valencia?
So the fact that some people have a Ghana card but they don't know what to use it for.
Really?
When you know that you can use it for a lot of things, filling forms. Now when you are registering certain things online, they acquire your Ghana card.
Yeah.
When you are getting insurance and in fact relevant things, you need your Ghana card to fill it, because without a Ghana card, you can't proceed to the next page. So the Ghana card is very essential. When you go to the banks nowadays, is your Ghana card?
Yeah, you don't ask for passport.
You don't ask for passport.
Driver's license.
No. Because now you've merged your Ghana card to your bank, your SIM, your national health insurance, your SNAID, everything.
Okay.
So if you have your Ghana card, you have everything on it.
Okay.
So, and when you misplace your Ghana card,
you're in trouble. Do you know your Ghana card number off by heart? I mean, in your head.
I know the first four.
No, it's the first four. I have the best number, man. It's so easy to remember. What did you learn from that interview?
It's interesting. The fact that, some people did mention that they can use it for their documentations and all of that. I think some of them also are mistaken about its use. A lady mentioned that you can use it for to withdraw money.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how that works.
It's not an ATM card.
Yeah, of course.
No.
And also the concerns from some of them saying that it's difficult to, attain the card and all of that. And so I think that we need to make the processes very flexible for a lot of people to, have access to it. And I think we need, I don't know if NHIA can take that up. They need to really intensify education.
NIA.
NIA, sorry, yeah, NIA. So they need to intensify education so that we really know the purpose and benefits and all. I mean, we should also, the primary aim is that, it provides a verifiable identity for all Ghanaians.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we should get that right so that you didn't use your card
to put it in your ATM to get lost.
No.
Before we go, though, were you surprised that non-Ghanaians can have Ghana cards?
I wasn't surprised, yes, because I think government made some provision for foreigners, but they should make it more flexible for them to have access to it. One man complained that it's been over 3-4 months now, he hasn't been able to acquire a Ghana card, and because of that, he's not able to apply for job anywhere else, and he has to do some petty trading. And I think they should, going forward, they should make it more flexible for these foreigners. They shouldn't think probably they are not part of us, so they are going to make things very difficult or make it expensive for them to acquire it. They should make it rather flexible because we are all one people.
Okay.
And a foreigner, I spoke with one, I think a Nigerian. He was like, he's not Ghanaian, so he doesn't think that it's okay for him to get the card.
You should try getting a SIM card with a Ghana card and you see.
So yeah, as she rightly said, we should make it flexible for them. And yes, non-Ghanaians can, attain the card and all. So let's
some statistics for you before we go. So as at 20th August 2024, and I'm reading from the NIA website, it's nia.gov.gh. So over 18.1 million Ghanaians have enrolled for the Ghana card. Over 17.8 million cards have been printed, and over 17.3 million cards have been issued. So there's a 500,000 gap between cards issued and cards printed. So Ghana card people, look sharp. Finally, if your card is lost right now, how would you know what number to quote to get it back?
The number, no, I would just have to apply and get the police report.
Okay.
It got missing one time, and I got so
you were scared. Let me give you a small tip. Take a picture of your Ghana card and send it as an email to yourself.
Oh, wow.
So that then you have it. You have the numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. My Ghana card number is 00. I won't tell you the rest. Come and see me in chambers. That's Public Interest. Watch out for another edition on Thursday, 7 a.m. Thanks again to Dina and to Christy and to Fred and to my people here, Valencia and Nadede. My name is Kafri Day. There's more on the show. We're looking at increasing cases of breast cancer in second cycle schools coming up right after this. And then headlines, I return. Stick around.
Back to the show. This is GTV Breakfast. We're waking you up bright and early. Well, some people are on strike, workers are on strike, but we're keeping you company. If you're on strike and you're at home, just enjoy this breakfast that we're serving you. We've had breast cancer conversations just gone by, and then a public interest. What do you use your Ghana card for? If you missed that, go to our Facebook page, GTV Ghana. We stream live there. You can hear the interesting views of Ghanaians on this. I sat down for another conversation on breast cancer, and we're looking at increasing cases in second cycle schools. That's the scare. It accounts for about 30%, that's breast cancer, of all cancer cases in Ghana, and it remains the leading cause of cancer deaths among Ghanaian women. Current empirical data shows that out of every 4,000 women diagnosed with the disease every year, over 2,000 patients lose their lives. And this is a major challenge to national development as it increases the vulnerabilities in the cycle of poverty in Ghana. Despite annual breast cancer awareness campaigns and screenings, most Ghanaian women remain ignorant of the disease or simply refuse to seek medical care due to ignorance or stigma, some related to spirituality and all of that. And ironically, it's also becoming high among females in second cycle institutions. A recent study by MENA Foundation shows that out of a total of 6,042 students screened, 157 suspected cases were diagnosed. And in the studio, the people who did the research are here to talk to us about it. Nina Ahema Dodu is from the MENA Breast Cancer Foundation. MENA Breast Cancer Foundation. Good morning, welcome to the show.
Good morning, thank you so much.
Good to have you. That's a tongue twister, you would say, right? Ebenezer Eskin is also from the MENA Breast Cancer Foundation. Ebenezer, good morning, welcome to the show. Let me begin with you, Mina. I spoke to Dr. Osei of Medimoses early on, and he did say that women who have not had children yet are more prone to breast cancer. Is that why we are seeing young girls in senior high school with this problem?
That could be a factor. Women who have not had children yet, or women who give birth at a later age, are more prone to breast cancer because they are exposed to a longer duration of getting estrogen or progesterone produced in their bodies, and that is what the breast cancer cells thrive upon. So once you are not pregnant, once you have not given birth, then it means that regularly every month you are exposed to the estrogen, so your chances at getting it is higher. And aside that, I think that there's not much education on breast cancer. It is rather sad that as a nation and as a country, breast on October. So what about the other months? People are getting diagnosed every month, every week across the country. If you go to Kolebu breast cancer units, you'll be shocked to see the number of women dying from breast cancer, and even the men are not left out. So it is sad that we have to sit down and wait till October before we start advocating on breast cancer. So at MENA Breast Cancer Foundation, we don't just work in October, we work all year round, from January to December. We are creating awareness, we are supporting women living with breast cancer, and currently we are also building a health facility, breast cancer care unit at Potton in the central region, because we've realized that there are not much breast cancer centers across the country. So that could also be a factor. Low or minimal information on the disease.
Amazing. I do think that, yes, collaborations are needed for this, and kudos to you for what you're doing. Ebenezer, have you seen a difference since you started advocacy with the foundation in these second cycle institutions with the girls?
Yes, please. Since we started the school outreaches, we've seen that education on the disease is very low. And we believe if education is being championed by the National Communication for Civic Education.
NCPE.
It will help. Help do away with the myth and the misconception about the disease.
So you think now education is still low?
Very low.
Even though every year in October we talk about breast cancer.
Yes, please.
Okay, and as a man, how do you feel? Men also get breast cancer, but majority are the women. How do you feel about it?
I was shocked when I went to Kolebu to do a visit during one of our runs, and we got to know that men also get breast cancer. We were surprised when we were diagnosed with breast cancer. So I think. Yeah.
So you're like a champion as well for the men.
Yes, please.
They should go and get checked.
Sure.
Okay. Nina, what can be done as well to help the girls in senior high school? When you find them and they are diagnosed, they are young. How do you help them deal with their condition?
Okay, so at Minabel, these young ones, you see, what we do is that when we go to the schools, after the education session, we offer free breast screening for them. So those that we find with suspected lumps in their breast, or those that we find with other breast issues, we refer them to the clinics, to the labs, for to go for breast. Or some of these students, some of them come from poor homes.
Right.
So if they call to tell their parents that, oh, some people came to my school and then they found something wrong with my breast and then I have to go for a scan, some parents cannot afford it.
Yeah, the mammogram and all of that.
So sometimes we take them to the labs ourselves. We pay for it so that they get screened. And those that are found with the organization, especially if we find out that you are from, you are not from a very good background financially, we support you.
You do this because of the mantra that early detection saves lives, and as they are young, you catch them early. Ebenezer, who are your supporters or your partners in this journey?
Since its inception, we do not have sponsors.
So how are you running the organization?
It's only from our boss's pocket.
Wow.
And maybe other donors who like to support the project.
So it's mostly self-financing and local funding. So there's an investor listening, or there's somebody who wants to help. What's your message to the person?
Okay, we will appeal to the public. Yeah, so we will plead on the public to come to the aid of this breast cancer patients.
Nina, being done.
So it will be surprising that after our research, our findings, we sent a press conference, and then there was a rep from the Ministry of Health, and from the rep's own mouth, she said that there was nothing. Patients see the way the support now coming for kidney patients as well. What about breast cancer? Why are they not doing anything about it?
Right.
It is the highest leading cause of death among women, especially in our part of the country, because most women here, they don't really care about their health. Some people have heard of breast cancer, but they feel it is far away from them. They don't really think about it. Just last week, we like they don't care about it. What is it like? What can they do to me?
Right.
Some of them hadn't even been screened before. And it is really, really bad. It is really sad.
There's more than a detection, and not waiting until you are dying before you accept the fact that you have breast cancer.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nina. Is that breast cancer is a national catastrophe, and lots needs to be done about the education. They've called on the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, and the
Galamsey now is the hashtag. 40, how many days again?
46.
Yes, 77 days to end the president's term. Second term. And yeah, here we go with the headlines.
We could replicate Ghana's TVET in Africa to address unemployment challenges on the continent. Dr. Asamoah.
And I like the fact that that's your headline there. That's a big one. Daily Graphic comes back to what everybody has been speaking about for quite a while right now. Speaker's declaration on 4 MPs, Supreme Court rule. Chronicle, what's the big one?
Big one says MPP wants a Jura NDC chatterbox punished for assaulting their communication officer during live radio program.
Okay, so that's another one that's moving away from the MPP NDC caucus stuff. Yeah, so some violence there, not good. Daily Guide, MP's Power Struggle SC, which is the Supreme Court, orders served on Parliament.
Journalist Asasia Bankweuhene still on the throne after failed destillment by detractors gets massive support.
MIIF to rake in $6 billion in mineral royalties in 10 years. Okay, so that's your anchor this morning.
To hit $177.65 billion by 2029. Ghana must position itself to benefit. Professor Duncan.
I agree. It must go beyond people touting all kinds of miracle cures in moving buses from Accra to Savelugu. It must go beyond that. So it's a good cause.
It is.
The Daily Dispatch. Only the courts have authority over vacated seats, not the Speaker. MPP's Afenyo Makin. Okay, that's the big headline there.
Back on that.
All right.
The National Voice, Bagbin lacks authority to declare vacated seats. Afenyo Makin.
Oh,
there was that one.
All righty. Okay, so that's the Voice and the headlines. You will come back for Manifesto Watch
with the Ghana Union Movement.
Okay.
And we have a lady this morning, and we're talking about the educational policy of GUM.
And then there's a book launch.
And then there's a book launch of the history of the Dagbamba people, the second largest ethnic group in Ghana. You'd want to know who are the Dagbamba people, so stay tuned.
Okay, all right. I'm scooting over for the headlines, so I'll see you in a while.
I'll see you.
Yep.
Okay.
Hashtag Stop Galamsey Now. Good morning, welcome to the show. What do we have? So I'll be later on speaking to a representative from the NCC, actually the chairperson, Kathleen Addy, on the role of the National Commission for Civic Education in ensuring an incident-free election. But for now, we're going into our headlines. My guests are seated. Mr. John Kuku Jani is a forensic psychiatry specialist, and Professor Daniel Bruce is a clinical psychologist. Gentlemen, you're all welcome to the show. Good to have you all here.
Thank you very much.
How's it going?
It's fine.
Okay, all right. What's on your mind, Mr. Johnny?
I think what is trending this morning is the issue within the Parliament, is it not? And that I've been listening to a whole lot of commentary. And if you are going to listen to all of them, you might end up being very, very confused because they are legal brains. I think today what will happen is the Speaker, for the gentleman and the intelligent man that he is, will make sure he will do this in a way that there's no real disruption in Parliament. I suspect he's capable of doing that. As for the law, Lord Denning once said, the law sometimes can be an ass in itself. The ass here being the donkey.
Yeah, I thought it was the rear end of the human being.
No. It's the donkey.
Well, why is the law a donkey? Well, it can kick you, right?
Yes, it's stupid. It's a stupid animal. If you are too stiff with the law, you do not get the desired results.
Okay.
If you are too lax with it, you do not get the result. So I think I heard Honorable Aiga make a presentation, a case study on just what has happened. And the presentation was excellent. It was devoid of sentiments, devoid of I know too much, devoid of politics, and this must be devoid of politics if you want to get to the real game. And that presentation, I think, is the real game. And that we must abide and run with the law. Run with it as it should be done. Get the politics out of it, and we will be able to get there. And I think the referee today, like I said, Mr. Bagby, the speaker, will do the honorable thing. He's a very good man. He knows the way forward. He's been around for a very long time. And we hope for the best this morning. I think within an hour or so, the doors will be open in Parliament House.
Yes.
See how it gets out there.
Yes, the public gallery is closed, so
Yes.
Nobody can go and watch stuff there. So it's going to be just the MPs and I guess the media.
Right.
So that's the latest that we can give you on that issue. I just want to read something on that. So in the news this morning, and we have a military presence actually at Ghana's Parliament. So you can, they are. There's a military. We'll show you pictures of them. So you have a military presence at Parliament, and there's a statement from the Parliamentary Service, basically saying, talking about the security measures for proceedings from Tuesday, 22nd October, which is today. As part of measures put in place to ensure the safety and security of the Right Honourable Speaker, MPs, and staff, honourable members are respectfully to take note of the following. All MPs, staff, and members of the press will be screened thoroughly before entering into the chamber.
Right.
Bodyguards of MPs will not be permitted in the chamber. Vehicles will not be allowed to park around the Grand Arena. MPs are to be dropped at designated drop-off zones within the precincts of the Accra International Conference Center. Ghana Police Service will provide directions to the designated drop-off zone. MPs are requested to wear their parliamentary identification tags. Access to the chamber will be from 8 o'clock, so that's in 20 minutes. The public will not be allowed access to the public gallery until further notice, respectfully counting on the cooperation of all. Wing Commander Frederick Bauer, retired, Deputy Marshal of Parliament. So those are the security measures that are being put out, and as you can see from those pictures, there's a military presence there as well. Prof. Bruce, what do you make of all of this?
Good morning. I think I used to listen to BBC Focus on Africa in the days of Ben Doche Malon. Those days I was very young, but every day 4:30 thereabouts, because I want to listen to the African proverb for the day, I was writing them down. And after that, when they broadcast the news on Africa, political leaders and their behavior in Africa, I was saying that no, this cannot happen to Ghana. But now it saddens me that those things I used to hear about Democratic Republic of Congo, Zaire, and all those places, is beginning to show up in Ghana. Ghana is not at war with itself. We voted for these parliamentarians to go. If at a point you stand on my ticket, you say, no, I don't like you again, I'm going to be on my own, what's the problem of that? Leave me and go. You can't say you hate me and like me at the same time. So me, what I'm confused. I don't know what is going on. I am really confused. Look at what is happening this morning. You have to be searched, and rules and regulations governing you, that you are represent people of a constituency, you are going to do business on their behalf, and for also to progress Ghana. Where have you gotten to this far? It's because we lack one thing. Jesus Christ said, the truth shall set you free. It's because we have refused to speak the truth. That is why we are going through all these things. There's a truth about this matter, which is bringing all this confusion. Where is that truth? If that truth is discovered, there will not be any confusion. But because we have refused to speak the truth about this matter, being a member of a parliament at the same time being an independent candidate,
right,
and push have been published on you, you are campaigning against your party. That don't vote for my party, vote for me. What is the truth about this? Let's speak the truth and there will be peace. But because we don't want to speak the truth, that's why we are facing this chaos. Why should we go and bring Ghana Armed Forces into the parliament to do what? We are just disgracing ourselves. The people hearing our news now they are marveling at, is it Ghana? Is it Ghana? Ghana, the gateway to Africa that we boast about. Ghana that has gotten the best airport in West Africa, Terminal 3, that people are pushing their government, especially Nigerians, that you, our leaders, you must give us this facility. People are aspiring to be like Ghana, but look at where we are going now. So I just want to plead that whatever is the truth about this matter, let's speak it, and that truth shall set us free. Parliamentarians will go to parliament and transact their business, and what is wrong? If you're in minority or majority, it's for Ghana. But the way we are looking at it, that no, if you're in majority, we'll do this, we can't. No, that is why. You see, so please, there is something we are not doing. What is the truth about what the Speaker has done? What is the truth about what the Supreme Court people have done? Let's get to the truth and we are free.
Right Honourable Speaker Bagbin is trending in the news. Mr. Jani, for right or wrong reasons, what's your reading of all of this?
I'm not happy about the military men.
Okay, who have come to Parliament?
Yes, you remember some time ago they were there and there was so much chaos. I mean,
since December 2020,
the optics
of military coming to
was so sad. It was unbelievable.
You think it's unnecessary?
Too unnecessary. Where are the martial men in Parliament House? Not even the men themselves within the parliamentarians themselves will have to organize themselves in a way that, as for the military, they shouldn't be there at all. At all. What, is there a war? Is there a war in Parliament? Let's assume for a moment one military man decides that, look, give me the Speaker's chair, I'll sit on it, and declare total, what we call it. Do you know chaos we could get in Ghana? The military are out of bounds to many, many areas within the democratic environments. I deplore that. It makes me sick. I don't want to talk about it too much. But we must make sure that this democracy that we practice, like Prof has said, there has to be an element of truth in it. Take the politics out a little bit. Because this issue will revisit us again eventually. What do you do about it? If you don't find answers to it, or you short-circuit it for your political advantage, eventually it will come back again to haunt you. So it is not to do with, like I said, emotions and I'm older than you and I know the law better than you. No, that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is how we resolve this problem in a decent way that when observers look at us from outside Ghana, they say, oh, and we knew Ghanaians were clever. I suspect it's going to happen today. I suspect that will happen today. That is going to be so peaceful. The way forward will be accepted by most people. That the referee, who is Mr. Bagbin, will present a case in a way that the way forward does not present chaos. I see this from what Mr. Honorable Markin says, that they are not interested in any war. Do the forensic analysis on the newspapers. You find that nobody wants a war. Nobody wants chaos. It's a few weeks to elections. And this does not even augur well for the government. The assumption has been that the NPP group in Parliament are in cahoots with the judiciary. The issue of state capture remains the same. We are very paranoid. Whenever they go to the Supreme Court, we are paranoid. We know that whatever they want will be dished out to them like confetti. Because they are in what we call with government. So please, today is the testing time for all of us to prove to ourselves that, look, there are days that we just have to be correct. There are days that we just have to be truthful to ourselves and say, look, enough is enough. Let's move. All of us will die and go in the next 2 years. In the next 50 years or so, most of us will be gone. The next generation will expect that we came with a golden generation. We had so much of an easy life. Can you imagine what the younger persons are doing today, where they do not see any hope in education, any hope in accommodation, any hope in marriage? And it is a hopeless case. It is a hopeless case. And so the youth are not even worried about having children or getting married anymore. What's going to happen in the next 20, 30, 40 years? We have serious problems. And we need thinkers. We don't want too much academicians. We want pragmatic, problem-solving skills to solve our problems. Not politics. Everybody can do politics. You can have professors, that's fine, academia, but pragmatism, problem-solving skills is what we need right now. Our policies have got to be coherent. The policies have to be followed in a coherent manner, from research, data, goal setting, short-term, long-term, implementation.
A lot to be done.
Yes.
Okay, let's hear from the Majority Chief Whip, Honorable Arnold Dompré, who spoke with the Parliamentary press call not too long ago. Take a listen, and then we'll hear from Dr. Derek Ohiming, who is a law lecturer at GIMPA. First of all, the Majority Chief Whip.
I asked them, is the place accessible? Can I enter? And they answered in the affirmative. So I went in there together with my colleague. We went there just to be sure. It's my duty as a whip to be sure that things are okay. So I got there, and what I wanted, I found it. And so I sat down. Then they called me and said that they wanted to sweep the place. Willingly, I walked out and came and stood here. What is wrong with that? He should have known. He came to meet me. I was a whip before he became a whip. There are lessons I need to teach him. So he should be humble enough to learn. He just entered a whip job. He should be he should be careful making allegations and be humble enough to also learn how whips work. This is how whips operate. It's my duty to be sure that everything is well. Before I inform the entire leadership and the majority. So there's no problem.
I mean, clearly, this sitting is set to be really confrontational, because I've heard from some of them, they are going in there, they are going to carry themselves as the majority. Okay. That is clearly setting the stage for chaos. What exactly are you doing about that?
Well, what I'm doing about, you should be asking the speaker this question. The speaker set the tone. You know his house? I can direct you to the speaker's house or his official residence. The speaker set the stage. If there is any, should there be any chaos, we should blame it on the head of the Speaker of Parliament. Because after Supreme Court ruling, we know they'll be having meetings with the minority. The Speaker has been having meetings. That is what is emboldening them to come out and say all the things they are saying. And the knee-jerk reaction, the press conference they held on Sunday, it was all knee-jerk reaction after the Supreme Court has put where the situation should be. But surprisingly, I'm surprised. The Ghanaian people should know who the minority are. They're just giving forth their true colors. It is the same courts that ruled in favor of John Mahama some time back. And they were in white and celebrating. The same court, not necessarily Supreme Court, but the judiciary, they ruled in favor of Atufo. They were in white while jubilating. What is happening today? Are we saying that we can disrespect the ruling of a Supreme Court? Well, we'll wait and see. The Speaker himself is a respected lawyer and a very experienced legislator. We'll wait and see what he will do today. But I want point out to the Ghanaian people that should anything happen, any untoward happens in the chamber today, we should blame it on the head of the Speaker of Parliament. He has caused it.
I take it that you will not surrender the majority position today in the House. You will not surrender.
Well, there are so many ways to kill the cat, as they say. Okay? We will do everything and anything, including self-defense, to ensure that they don't walk over us. Okay? So we see how it goes.
Thank you very much. Member of Parliament from Somalia, the majority people. Already the negotiation they are not going to stop them.
Okay, so that was Arnaud Dompré MP, Majority Chief Whip, who some allegations were made against him. I mean, the allegations are coming from the Minority Chief Whip, Kwame Governs Abuja, who claims that this gentleman we just heard from was smuggled into Parliament during the early hours of today in violation of official protocols, because Parliament was supposed to be open to the MPs at 8 o'clock. He spoke on City FM, claiming that Arnaud Dompré was granted unauthorized access to the chamber before the official opening time, despite a circular that I read earlier, which stipulated that the doors to the House would be opened at 8 a.m. Right. So he was responding to that. Now, why is this the tension being ramped up over a numbers game here? On the line, we have law lecturer from GIMPA, Dr. Derek Ohiming, to give us some context and some analysis on the issue. Dr. Ohiming, good morning. Are you surprised that we have military personnel on the grounds of the Accra International Conference Center where Parliament is sitting today?
Good morning, good morning to your viewers and your listeners. Good morning. To answer your question, I'm not surprised that we have military personnel on place. Although, in my opinion, there should not be the military there. We shouldn't get this far, but I'm not surprised.
What does it do in terms of creating a kind of atmosphere for work to be done? I mean, what does that do to tension, really, when you see military fatigues at the House of Parliament?
Unfortunately, that only increases the tension and the pressure in an arithmetic progression mood, in my opinion. You see, we shouldn't even have gotten this far as a nation, if you should ask me. It is sad we have come to this point this morning. I mean, like I said, the military have a role to play. They are not supposed to be as where they are now. If there is anything at all, it should have been the police being present there, in my view. And bringing in the military is going to only introduce more chaos, because people would want to resist, people will want to rebel to that extent, because then we should be dealing with ourselves rationally. We should be dealing with ourselves as a mature democratic nation, and so we shouldn't come this far. As a matter of fact, we shouldn't, if you should ask me, we practice constitutional supremacy, and if we practice constitutional supremacy, then at all times the provisions in the Constitution should remain. Every other rule should be subsumed into the provisions of the Constitution. And if we are talking about practicing constitutional supremacy, then it means that we cannot be talking about parliamentary supremacy under a circumstance. The same way we cannot be talking about parliamentary supremacy, we also cannot be looking at the Supreme Court overseeing their boundaries. And so there has to be a balance. We need to strike the balance between the two under the circumstances. I agree, the Supreme Court has a mandate by the Constitution to interpret the law. The Supreme Court has the mandate by the Constitution to tell us what the law says. And once the Supreme Court speaks, we should all submit to the position of the Supreme Court as a nation. If people had a notion that the Supreme Court is biased, then it is unfortunate. And if that notion continues, because justice must be seen not to be done only, but it must be seen by all to be done. And so when justice is done and a few disgruntled members of the society are complaining, we should listen to them. And in the interest of the principle of natural justice, the same way the political parties are claiming that the speaker has not heard them, in the same way we should also see out those who are also complaining and answer the circumstances.
Right.
There's a little thing there I will compare.
Doc, so we are getting visuals. Can you hear me, Dr. Ohiming?
Yes.
Good. So we are getting visuals, live pictures from Parliament, which suggest that people dressed in NPP colors are gathering at the Parliament. And so I mean, this cannot be healthy, can it? I mean, this is like. Because you know how these things work in Ghana. Before you know, you're going to see green, white, black, and red also there. And then we are ramping up tension. So these are pictures from Parliament of supporters who have gathered outside the Parliament House. What's your take on this?
The supporters have no business gathering at where they are now. They are not members of Parliament. It is the business of members of Parliament. NPP supported in red, blue, white, NDC supported in red, green, black, have no business gathering at this time. Because, as you rightly said, it is only going to be a receipt for disaster. It may get out of hand and so on. And so, in my view, in my humble view, they have no business gathering them. For the past 3.5 years, they have not been gathering in Parliament. So, what is their business? What has changed? We should leave. Parliament is of age. Parliament is able to resolve issues. And so the supporters gathering there have no business there at all this morning. They shouldn't be there. It is only going to increase people's adrenaline and so on. And things may get out of hand for us at this point in time. It don't mean that is the last point we want to get to. Already we have enough on our plates we have not been able to deal with. And we are trying so hard to deal with. So, passing people there, trooping there, and so on, is not needed at all at this point.
Yeah, we're going to try and clear up the line because it doesn't sound too clear. But so we will hang up and then try and call you on a clearer line so we can hear a bit more about the legal implications of what's going on. That's Dr. Ohiming. He is with the law faculty at GIMPA, Dr. Derek Ohiming. We'll try and clear up the line and then come back. But Mr. Jani, I mean, you are seeing pictures from Parliament. You heard Honorable Onodombre. Yeah. It is now that people are supposed to be entering Parliament because it's 8 o'clock.
Right.
But to have a member of Parliament entering the room before, does it not just increase suspicions that something is happening?
I'm not sure.
Why can't people just follow rules? Simple rules?
That's what I'm asking. And who is supposed to be making sure that the rules are followed within
especially if you're a member of Parliament.
Yes, or within the confines of national security, perhaps. So that's the look. The boundary from the streets out to Parliament House is a no-go area for everybody, only parliamentarians. And then ensure that, look, nobody is smuggled in. I mean, national security could do that. What are the protocol guys doing around a Parliament House? So I'm just worried and wondering why we're having these leakages at this moment in time. Parliamentarians should even watch the way they speak now. You know, you can't be too partisan all the time. There are times when you must swallow and say, look, I think I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Can we go back and talk about this? This whole issue is not being explained by a lot of people properly. Listen to Mr. Honorable Ayariga, who is very good in constitutional law. And you will know, you will just know the format as to how this whole thing has happened. Lawyers are talking and talking, and nobody is saying exactly what is going on and how it should be resolved. So I am with the view that, look, run with the law. Let's see how tempest. People should calm down. All these comments. Why do you bring your guys to Parliament House? To do what? To do what? Okay, me too. I'm going to bring my people back to Parliament House. What sort of confusion is this? And then the NPP must watch it. You know, whenever they do things and they think they're going to make gains, in retrospect, your people see you in different lights. When you think you are making gains by bringing your people and bringing flags and all that, in retrospect, people think, they say, hey, what the hell is going on here? The psychologist is here. He might be able to explain that better than I do.
But Bruce,
yeah,
what's going on?
This morning we are seeing two dominant symptoms of positive schizophrenia.
Positive schizophrenia?
Yes. Two dominant characteristics of positive schizophrenia.
Okay.
The people are very highly paranoid this morning and also showing signs of delusions of grandeur.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is what is that is what look at them now.
Yeah.
Why should they be there?
To enter the,
why should they be there?
They're massing at the gate.
Purely exhibiting delusions of paranoid ideation. Without any evidence that somebody is planning mayhem, so they are there to support.
Don't they have work to do?
No, they don't have any. So you have to leave all that you have to do this morning to fight for yourself. You are there. To fight for who?
They've been giving 5 cities, 5 cities, 5
This is the point. Because someone is saying, I am very important, so somebody is going to do me something, so come and help me.
How?
I mean, that's delusions of grandeur. Without you, Ghana can move forward.
Oh, man.
You see now we are saying that Ghana, we are no more shameful of doing shameful things. Shame is no more our portion. We glaringly and willingly engage in doing shameful things like this thing. Why should you leave your home and come here for this morning? Are you a parliamentarian?
Do you understand what is going on?
You are nothing in parliamentary business concerns you. Why are you there? You see, it's because you are not shameful. This issue which is happening now, there is no truth in this issue. If we have visited the truth, this occasion would not have arisen. But we are shielding the truth. Is there no law in Parliament? What is the law in Parliament saying that? If I say I am NDC member and today I say I'm no more with you, I'm independent, what should happen to me? Is there no law in Parliament like that? I mean, let's get to the truth. What did the law say? And so we save Ghana from this kind of embarrassment. It's not the best. It's not the best. Very soon, other people may also come there, and it's going to be chaos. We are creating this situation. How did you manage to get to arena where the time for you to enter there hasn't come? I mean, so please, Ghana.
Today is what? This morning.
I mean,
they should be at work by now. They should have some jobs to be doing.
Something.
They should be at work.
Those days we were studying geography in secondary school. We were told that River Congo can electrify the whole of Africa, hydroelectric power. But because of political leadership, we are not gaining any benefit for that huge and massive volume of River Congo because of inefficient political leadership. Look at Ghana. Look at this water before you. All our water bodies are getting spoiled and muddied by this type of color. We are not speaking about this, but we are there to support parliamentarians. Just because somebody is coming majority and somebody is coming minority. What are we doing to this threat on our life? This Galamsey water. What are we doing to them? Our forest that we are losing. That one, we are not care about it. We can't come out in this form and say, no, enough is enough. Let's stop this. But we are there to protect the parliamentarians. These humble and honorable people, why do we confer the title honorable on them? So they should do honorable things. They should not go and click something that, oh, come and support us and look at the chaos machine. It's not the best. Let us not disgrace Ghana. Let us not disgrace Ghana. Those who are doing things to disgrace Ghana, they will face the consequences. It's not nice. They take pride in disgracing Ghana. If you know that this is not good, why are you doing it? You're honorable member of parliament. The title honorable will take it away from you.
At the election, hopefully, yeah?
At the election.
Years ago, I saw a minister who's been in power for some time, and then eventually saw him wearing chalewote around at the Baraka.
Yeah.
Times do change. And you must just have to do the right thing. You know, politics here, politics tomorrow. And I don't see why people get too involved and then get deluded about it. Now these delusional ideas, delusions of grandeurs that look, I have power, so I'm this, I'm that. I can sit in an aircraft privately. I can have my own chair following me. I can tell chiefs to stand up when they are. What is this? The chief that you asked to stand up, today the chief is there. In about 2 months' time, you'll be out of work. And you might probably have to go to his village again, and he's still sitting in his chair. You see the anomaly? Chiefs don't vacate their seats very easily. Presidents do, with the terms that we have. So, when you behave, average people will understand your behavior. The psychology, God in his wisdom gave knowledge to people who are even in the villages, a certain knowledge, to understand what is right and what is wrong. You don't have to go to school to know what is right and what is wrong. Go to the chief's house. Sometimes pure democracy is practiced in the chief's house than in Parliament House. They will deal in a case that you would know that, look, this has been done and interrogated and done properly. So, we haven't lost it all. We're saying we are doing democracy. If we can't do it, let's find other ways to do it. If we are struggling with it, let's find other ways to do it. China is a one-party state. They have eradicated what we call poverty. And they are doing very well. Thank you very much. They are the factory of the world. Second largest economy. They are not complaining. We struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle. Not good enough. Not good enough.
So it's very disturbing, very, very worrying that we find ourselves in this situation. I don't think our honorable members of parliament will engage themselves in an act that will allow people somewhere to describe Ghana as a village when it comes to matters of democracy. We've prided ourselves in so many things. We are the black star of Africa. We are the gateway to Africa, and so many other things. We should be a shining example, even in our democracy, to other nations.
All right. What
we are doing now is wrong.
We need to be a shining example for other democracies. You're watching GTV Breakfast. My name is Kafi Day. Professor Bruce is the one in the bright yellow shirt. And sitting next to him is Mr. John Kukujani, who is a forensic specialist in forensic psychiatry. We have our clinical psychologist here. Everything is of the mind this morning. What is in the mind of my next guest? He represents the people of Wa West, Honorable Peter Lanchene Tobu. Are you inside the chamber? It's now 8:10, and you were supposed to be entering by 8 o'clock. Are you in the chamber, sir?
Good morning, Kafu. Yes, right now I'm in the chamber and then relocated comfortably to the majority side. Seated to the right is my very good friend, the MP for Sisala West, and to my left is the MP for Nabrongo Central. We've taken position and we are ready to do business.
Thank you for the geographical location. Where are the MPP members?
Well, we have just entered. MPP members are here. They are getting confused as to where to sit, but the NDC members are very comfortable seated at the majority side, hoping that the speaker will step in anytime soon, and then we will do business.
Earlier on, we heard that the Honorable Arnaud Dompré had entered the room before 8 o'clock, and your whip, Honorable Agboja, was not very happy with that. What's the latest on that?
Yes, it was quite surprising that when we got here at 6 a.m., all the doors were locked, but we got to realize that there was somebody inside. So we asked them to open the security open, and we saw that Honorable Arnaud Dompré was here with the Deputy Roads Minister. And we're wondering at what time they came and why the doors were locked. So we raised an alarm, and in fact, as we speak, some soldiers came around. The police were also here, but the soldiers just left. And then it is 8 o'clock now, as the marshal has directed that the doors will be opened. The doors are officially opened, and we have filed in and we've taken our appropriate seat as communicated to Parliament by the Speaker the last time we sat on Thursday.
So we are hearing, we heard on Joy FM that the military have a scheduled sweep they do at the precincts of Parliament every Tuesday at the invitation of Parliament. Is that correct?
Well, we don't know, but what we know is that the military have been here before on the 5th of January 2021 unannounced. It was so unprofessional. We don't know who invited them. Up to date, that matter is still being swept under carpet, which will be investigated in the future, of course. So when we saw men and women in military uniform at the same precinct of Parliament, all of us were worried. Whoever invited them, we don't know. But the Marshal is in charge of security. What we believe is that the Marshal will do what is right, and we don't want to cite military in the chamber today.
What is the order of business this morning?
Well, we are yet to receive the order paper. I'm sure by 9 o'clock the order paper will be received and we'll see what is to be rolled out. But we believe that we'll still be here to do government business. If the MPs on the government side are not here and the speaker is around, we will still do business for Ghana.
What is the mood in the House as you speak?
As I speak, I mean, people are relaxed. The NDC MPs, everybody is taking his seat or a seat at the majority side. And then we are relaxed. Nobody has any problem. There are no scuffles here and there. And then we are mature people. I mean, we wait until the speaker comes to say otherwise, or else what he told us on Thursday is what we are respecting. And some of us, with my background, when the Inspector General of Police tells the police officer something, the minister cannot tell the police officer a different thing and the police officer will obey. Unless you convince the IGP that what you are saying probably is a new policy direction that can change the instruction of the IGP and it gradually change the application or the practice of the men on the ground. So what we are doing is simply respecting the position of the Speaker of Parliament, that he communicates to his MPs, and we are doing exactly what he told us.
I see today's graphic, and it leads with Supreme Court ruling binding on Parliament. Legal experts are telling the NDC caucus. These legal experts include Albert Kwashiga, who is a lawyer and a law lecturer at UPSA, and then Samson Anyenini, who is a managing partner at A Partners at Law. They said, listen, the ruling is binding on Parliament. Listen to the Parliament. Listen to Supreme Court.
Thank you very much. The ruling is binding on Parliament. And we don't take matters on social media or take matters on air and start to act upon it. We are very law-abiding members of Parliament. We respect the people who elected us to come here to represent them. And all we do will be ensuring that this democracy will be sustained. So if the Supreme Court has ruled, I am sure that the process of serving on the Speaker will be complied with it. And if the Speaker is served, and the Speaker believes that, yes, I have been served, and this is a ruling that I must respect, the Speaker will communicate to Parliament and will accordingly comply. But until then, the Speaker's communication on Thursday is what is standing in the chamber.
Has the Speaker been conferring with your side of the House? That is the allegation from the NPP side, that you are in cahoots with him.
Well, that is expected of them. Sometimes when they mess up, they try to play propaganda to drag people's name into the mud. The Speaker of Parliament from day one up to date has demonstrated impartiality. He's one of the best we've had in the Fourth Republic. So whatever they say about him, let them go ahead and say about him. But the Speaker will remain the Speaker, and he always do what is right for this country.
There are some Ghanaians who are saying you are also ramping up the pressure. Just sit in your old position, and everything will die down.
Well, what we are just doing is obeying what is right.
Mm-hmm.
We are not raising the temperature for fun. What we are doing is saying that what the Speaker told us, excuse me to say, let's assume Honorable Apenyo Market had gone to file as an independent candidate to contest the equity seat and still remain as the majority leader. I don't know whether any government or any party will accept that. But that is what they are saying we should accept. That even though the people have filed to contest different parties or they change their positions that brought them to Parliament, change their parties that brought them to Parliament, we should think that it is still right. But why is the Chief Justice not quick enough to look at the substantive matter? How can you order Parliament to stay execution of something that doesn't exist? The Speaker never gave any ruling. The Speaker only gave us information. The law is that if you die, your position is vacant. If you move from one party to the other while you are still in Parliament, that position is vacant. So the Speaker simply passed on that information to us. But come what may, the Supreme Court has ruled. Let's wait until the Speaker of Parliament comes. We work under him. And what he says, I'm sure that Ghana will be proud today that democracy is maturing in this country.
The argument is that Parliament makes laws, Supreme Court interprets the laws. Stay in your lane and don't be interpreting. That's the argument they are making to the Speaker. What's your response to that?
Thank you. The Speaker knows that better. And as a member of Parliament, I do know that better, that we make the laws. And the Constitution grants the power to the Supreme Court to do interpretation. Ask the question, what interpretation was done by the Chief Justice? What interpretation motion was done by the Supreme Court. There was no interpretation. An ex parte motion. You are saying that we never gave the MPs even an opportunity, and that breaches the rule of natural justice. But an ex parte motion was filed in the same court, and the Speaker was never given an opportunity. And that one was ruled. What kind of kangaroo justice is this? But come what may, the Supreme Court has ruled. We are members of Parliament. We are in the chamber now. The Supreme Court cannot enter the chamber. Let the Speaker come. When he is served and he comes into the chamber, agreeing that he has been served, the pronouncement that he's going to make will inform our next line of action. But until then, my brother, the NDC majority is comfortably seated at the majority side of the House, waiting to do business.
On that, let me give you what the Vice President and flag bearer of the NPP said. Quote, if you want a majority in Parliament, come to the polling station, come to the constituency, win an election, and go to Parliament. You don't sit in Parliament and manufacture a majority for yourself. End quote. What's your response to this?
It is quite unfortunate that somebody who wants to be president can go that low. He doesn't know that majority is talking about numbers. That today, let's assume, may God forbid, if a few people, one or two, they are just leading about one vote. Let's assume that two of them are no more, and the number falls to 135. Okay? Automatically, they become the minority. It's not necessary for you to begin to talk about the fact that, if you want, we are talking about the 9th Parliament. This 8th Parliament, you lead that with only one MP. So if one or two of them are taking away their vote and they are going to join other parties and become independent candidates, by simple interpretation of looking at the Constitution, you will know that you no longer have the numbers. And I was just giving an example. Can Apenyo Markins be contesting as an independent candidate and still become an MPP member leading the MPP party in Parliament? Can that happen? But that is a substantive case. I'm sure that the Supreme Court will rule on that and we'll see our way forward. But the Supreme Court is saying that we should take execution of a particular order that they never gave. The Speaker never gave any order. The Speaker virtually communicated. He just passed information to us. Some of your colleagues, the notice of poll are everywhere in this country. You go to Formula, you see the notice of poll that the second Deputy Speaker who came to this House as an independent candidate has filed to contest on the ticket of MPP. That is notorious. It's judicial notice. We need somebody to tell us that. But let's wait for the right Honourable Speaker to come to the House. I'm sure that by the end of the day, democracy will have won. Your
colleague, Honourable Anyine, says, quote, we will start implementing NDC's manifesto and repeal MPP's obnoxious taxes on Tuesday. What did they mean by that?
Yes, when we are in majority, you know that Parliament goes by the decision of the majority. So we are at least very likely to raise some private members' bills and we'll repeal the very obnoxious taxes that are worrying the Ghanaian people. E-level levy should be gone. The betting tax should be gone. And we will do the best that we can do as parliamentarians and leave the rest to the president.
If the Speaker goes back on his ruling, will you not have egg all over your faces?
I didn't get that question.
If the Speaker decides to go with what the Supreme Court has ruled on, won't that be embarrassing for the NDC side of Parliament?
Nothing is embarrassing, and nothing will embarrass us. We are law-abiding citizens, and we believe that the Speaker will do what is right. If the Speaker comes and says, this is the right thing, if the Speaker commandeers that we should go into the sea, be assured that we are going into the sea. Whatever the Speaker says becomes the directive and becomes the rules for parliamentarians to comply with. So when we get there, we'll cross the bridge, of course.
Have you seen the Speaker today?
Not yet.
Okay, we wish you the best, all the best.
I'm sure that by 10 o'clock you should be in the chamber.
Honourable Member of Parliament for Wa West, former police officer and representing the people in the Upper West region, Honourable Peter Lanchini Tobu. We have 3 minutes to wrap up. What do you have to say in a minute, Mr. Jani?
Excellent presentation. You know, policemen are very good in law.
Yes.
Policemen know the law
they are enforcing the law, so they have to know what's going on.
Yes, 2 key points. The smuggling of Mr. Watmugo into the chamber is indicative of bad faith. And that shouldn't have happened. It tells people that, look, you don't want to play fair. Bringing supporters to Parliament House is unnecessary. Another bad faith. So you keep, when you want to behave and be seen to be doing the right things, there are things that you have to do. And therefore, they just have to watch it. Let's see what our Speaker Mr. Speaker is going to say this morning, and we'll have to live with it.
All righty.
The chaos is not what we don't want the chaos.
Prophet Bruce, concluding comments.
We will have made a very huge gain in terms of democratic practice and governance if these changes in Parliament have been allowed to prevail, and we see how it works. Many people have applauded Ghana. If we have looked at this thing positively and say, oh, let it happen and let's practice it and see. It also sends a signal to people that there's something we call loyalty. If you ride on my back to achieve something, and after your achievement of that, you want to turn your back on me, you need to be disciplined.
That's right.
Then where is loyalty now? I think Ghana, we need to raise ourselves up for other people to follow us. A lot more countries are looking at us. However, I wish to appeal to parliamentarians, both sides, that it's not a matter of fighting. It's not a matter of fear. Don't feel that you are intimidated, you are ashamed. But let's comply by the rules. Whoever wants us to feel ashamed, if that is the person's aim, we'll go by it. If somebody wants us to feel proud,
See on the statement, page 2, a document about the SHS. And at my age, I'm not able to tell too many lies. I must speak the truth. If I'm old and I'm telling lies, it's an omen. And therefore, the policy of the SHS, which Dr. Boama is talking about in the statement, is fine. When we say, or when John Mama says he wants to evaluate it, he doesn't mean scrapping the whole goddamn thing. He says, I'm going to evaluate it. Any coherent policy needs to be evaluated. And it will be evaluated so that any mistakes that have been made along the lines can be addressed. We'll talk about that more later when there's time.
Okay. I'm going to move to the board and see what messages we got. 05555561034. Okay, so Joseph believes that Mr. Jani's commending Ayaraga's point of view on the parliamentary tussle is oblivious to the fact that Ayaraga sounded political on a purely constitutional issue that he has no right over as a lawmaker in Parliament. That's his view over there. Nana Kwesi says he strongly advises the Speaker to stick to his ruling because the Supreme Court cannot do what they did on Friday to topple the decision of equally powered arms of government proceedings. Keep them brief for me so I can read. No weapon forged against you will prevail. Isaiah 54:17. And last one, Ghanaians must know their leaders we appointed are not there for us but to serve colonial masters and push a globalist agenda. Thank you so much, Odami Anderson. You're watching GTV Breakfast. Many, many thanks to Mr. Jani and Professor Bruce. My name is Kapui Day. Keep watching GTV Breakfast. We have conversations on with the NCCE, the GUM, Ghana Union Movement, and then there's a book launch that you want to be part of, the history of the Dagbagba people. You stick around. This is GTV Breakfast. Good morning. Check your breast. Yeah.
We a female. Where? What is you? Remember, we all make mistakes. They make provision for the exhibition. So say the EC go fit correct all the errors. The EC they ensure say we get clean and credible register. So make you go check your details quick crowd. Or you go fit dial the short code *711*51#. So say you go check your details. You check it there, you go fit check till the elections. The 2024 voters register not there. It be finchim correcto perfecto.
What's up?
How far with your intention?
To be honest, I'm so nervous about starting this new role on Monday.
Oh, please. I know you'll be great at it. You should be worried about what benefits they have. Example, do they have health insurance?
I doubt they will have that for interns. I have NHIS already.
As you are on a line,
Ina, look at you. What are you going to do in your office when you can just download the app to register for an NHIS membership?
Yes, my people. You heard right. You can now download and register your membership on my NHIS app. No long queues or tedious paperwork. All you need is your Ghana card to register for yourself and for others. Once you register, you get a new digital NHIS card on your phone. My NHIS app gives you access to credentialed health facilities and services across the country. NHIS covers over 95% of disease conditions in Ghana. Access to healthcare just...
Meet Kwame. He's not just any Kwame. He's Kwame the TV license legend. Kwame knows that by paying his TV license, he's supporting GBC, our public service broadcaster, and he's making a real difference. Kwame's contribution helps bring our communities closer together. Because of Kwame and others like him, we will all have access to amazing TV programs, educational content, plus broadcasting infrastructures are maintained, and our culture is beautifully promoted. So GBC is asking all to respond to this civic obligation and pay your TV license fee. For individuals, it's 3 CDs per month or 36 CDs per year. If you have multiple sets, meaning 2 or more in your household, it's 60 CDs per year. For commercial institutions, it's your number of TV sets by 36 CDs per year, and you pay the invoiced amount directly to GBC. So let's all take a moment to appreciate Kwame, the TV license legend. Wherever you are, just dial *447*333# and follow the prompt. It's your civic duty, so pay your TV license today. GBC, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.
The MacDown Entrepreneurship Challenge Season 1 has been a journey of great impact. From the application process to the selection of participants, of MacDown Entrepreneurship Challenge Season 1. The millionaire investor Dr. Daniel Macaulay is staying the course of grooming the next generation of multi-million-dollar entrepreneurs of Ghana. Ghana's unemployed youth population is growing exponentially by the day. A private sector intervention is needed to lighten the burden of employment on the government. The MacDown Entrepreneurship Challenge is one of such privately funded initiatives. Ghana, are you ready for the second edition of the MacDown Entrepreneurship Challenge Season 2? In this edition, 15,750 applications were received. 80 applicants have been selected for the real showdown. So watch out as these 80 business ideas are put to the test in the battle for the ultimate prize. Who will succeed? Who will fall out? And who will win the $100,000 cash prize in the MacDown Entrepreneurship Challenge Season 2? The MacDown Entrepreneurship Challenge is brought to you by MacDown Foundation. The MacDown Entrepreneurship Challenge, coming soon.
Welcome. You're watching GTV Breakfast. How do we ensure incident-free elections in Ghana? What's the role of the National Commission for Civic Education? The chairperson of that institution is seated right across the desk from me, Kathleen Addy. Hello, Kathleen. Good morning.
Hello. How are you?
Ade, like my name. How are you?
By grace.
Looking brilliant.
Thank you.
Awesome. For somebody who doesn't know what the National Commission for Civic Education does, although it says everything in your name, what do you do?
Thank you very much, and thanks for the question, because I always like to lead with that.
Yes.
It sets the stage and helps people to understand what then they understand what we are doing. The Commission is a constitutional body, one of 4 in the country. They are called the Independent Governance Institutions, and our mandate specifically is to ensure that Ghanaians, 1, understand the democracy that we are practicing, 2, understand and commit to defending the Constitution at all times. So fundamentally, that's what we are supposed to be doing, ensuring that Ghanaians are able to do these things. And it came out of the thinking at the start of the Fourth Republic that we are starting a Fourth Republic because our 3 republics failed, and our 3 attempts at building a republic failed. And it failed because it got to a point where people lost trust in the Constitution and were willing to support a coup maker to overthrow the Constitution. And those setbacks, those were setbacks that did not allow our country to progress. Without those 3 coups, we could have made a lot more progress. But it kept setting us back. So at the start of the Fourth Republic, the framers of the Constitution made the decision that we need to ensure that people understand this Constitution, that this Fourth Republic will be their republic. That is their republic, working on it, building it slowly, and ensuring that over time the democracy is strengthened, people understand what we need to do, everybody understands their role, and we work together to continue building. Democracy is not something that you declare and then it is working automatically. It's something that you constantly work at. It's also not something that was ever meant to be easy. It's meant to be, it is by design difficult because it requires so much collaboration, cooperation, working together, working in a rule-based environment, and a whole lot of things. So many different moving parts working together. So the role of the institution is to ensure that Ghanaians understand all of this, the democracy, the Constitution, their roles and responsibilities as citizens, to be able to understand that each of us has a role. It's not a declaration of democracy or go and vote and then sit back and watch. You must be an active citizen. You must be a citizen that is and the citizen that understands their obligations to the state, a citizen who understands their rights as Ghanaians. You must understand the benefits of citizenship and also work to build your community, your society, and be a part of the nation-building agenda.
So a lot has to do with voter education. And because you have to understand what they're doing before they can really be part of it, correct?
But voter education is just one element of citizenship. In fact, it's the element that we've got right more than...
So we're good there?
No, we are not good there.
Okay.
Nothing is ever complete when it comes to democracy and citizenship. But voter education, voting, let me say, the voting element of democracy is something that's at least we've built a track record on as a country. So the voting part, the election and voting part, is not 100% smooth, but it's something that we have continuously built on. And it's, what has not worked really well, I think, is the things that happen between elections. The participation of citizens in governance. That part of the democracy and citizenship we haven't done too great.
Why do you think so? Why do you think that's so?
Because we elect our leaders and assume that they have to
do everything.
They will be able to do some magic, but it doesn't work that way. We have to first of all hold leaders accountable. It's a very important part of the things you do in between elections. We have to ensure that they understand what we need and work in our interest. We have to ensure that we do our part to help them succeed as leaders. So all of these things that must happen between elections to ensure that all the elements of the democracy are working, we haven't been too great in all of those things. We must understand our rights as citizens and make sure that we get the full complement of rights that is gifted by the Constitution. We must understand our obligations and make sure that we don't renege on that, because the two go together. You must understand that as a citizen, you must first of all fundamentally be law-abiding. Your default must be doing the right thing. Your default must be law-abiding. Your default must be all the things that are required of you.
Are we stubborn?
I don't know. I don't believe that we are stubborn. I think that we have made assumptions about how these things work, and I think that over the years we've assumed that things will just fall in place without doing the work that is required. You know, the institution NCPE was not set up. You know, it was set up for a reason, because it was recognized that part of the problem was that people don't know. Citizenship is not something that nobody's born a good citizen.
It has to be intentional.
You have to be intentional in creating good citizens.
Right. How are we doing? How are we doing on that score?
It's sketchy, I have to be honest, and it's been sketchy from the start. The institution that is tasked to do this work exclusively, and you know, they are very. In fact, I'm still searching for an institution like NCC anywhere in the world that is built, that has the key elements that makes the NCC unique. It has the independence. It doesn't mean that you don't report to anybody. Our reporting line is to Parliament. It's not to the Speaker. It is to the Special Budget Committee, one of the few committees that are headed by both minority and majority. So it's structured in a way that we are working directly for the people, right? And that's why our reporting line is to where the people's representatives are.
Right.
And and that is where we take our programs. That is where we take our budget. That's where we decide what we are going to do and all of that. It's never been, and it's never towards the presidency, for instance. And so it's a very unique institution. Yet, even though it's structured this way, we are 100% dependent on the public purse. So governments have to deal with a situation where the institution has to be fully funded, yet they have no control over it. They have no control over what goes on in there.